Hi, Nigel.
Hey there, Bruce. I'm excited to talk about this episode.
Tell us what we're revisiting.
Yes, Last Memory, Linda. And I believe this is the fourth installment, can I say, of a Last Memory episode?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Because it was Michael.
Yep.
And then Earlonne and Ryan, and that was one episode. And then Leisha.
Yep.
And then Linda. I think this was the last one.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we've only done 4, right?
We've only done 4.
I get confused because this has now become like a teaching tool when we teach inside because, well, we should explain the last memory concept.
Yes. So the last memory concept is we ask somebody, and I think it's probably done a little bit differently inside the prison, but the idea is we ask someone to describe in as much detail as they can their last memory before coming to prison, using their senses and great visual description. And then we go to that place where that last memory occurred, and we sort of see if we can sense anything about their last memory, what kinds of things do we see and take in, and then we go back into the prison and share our experience of what we saw at their last memory. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's what happens with the workshop.
No,
but
it's
still
just people describing their last memory. Yeah. So I think in there it's useful because it sort of has a story and emotions built into it.
Yes, so and details.
Details, exactly. Yes. Yeah, it has like a lot of fundamentals to a good story.
Yeah, yeah. And what I like with the way we do it as an episode, for us as the people putting the story together, we really have to rely on chance because we have no idea what's going to happen when we get to the place where their last memory took place. And for all of them, we've had really interesting things happen.
Right. Yeah.
Like some crazy things.
When you first proposed this idea, and it was your conceit initially, I was worried about that because I saw looking back with somebody, that's obviously going to be powerful.
Yeah.
But then we go to a place and there's not, who do we talk to? Like the place isn't going to say anything. So yes, you do have to hope somebody interesting shows up.
Yes.
Which is also fun, like relying on chance to provide something.
It's totally fun, and it keeps us on our toes. We have to be really open to any possibility. Mm-hmm. And, so far with each one, something pretty interesting has come to pass. I think the craziest one was Earlonne's.
Totally. Yeah.
And I think I'm not going to say what it was, so people go listen to it. But it blew my mind what happened on that one.
And why did you want to re-listen to this one?
As I remember it, this one was so full of sensory description, which is something I'm always really interested in. And it is Linda is a very good storyteller. And without really any coaching, she brought in the memories through smell, sight, touch, not taste, but really brought this place to life. Mm-hmm. And it touches on things that I'm very interested in trying to answer that can never be answered, which are questions about people's relationship to religion and God when they're thinking about choices they've made in their life. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And maybe we say all this in the episode, but I'll just say we did this idea first with a couple people in San Quentin plus Earlonne. Mm-hmm. And then we took this idea to CIW. Leisha was there, and then Linda was there.
Yes.
And this was,
I'm also going to say Leisha's another one to go back and listen to, because what happened on that last memory was also really wild.
Yeah, totally. That's, it's so interesting. It's like you could go to any mundane place, and if you're looking right, something interesting is there.
Yes. And I think, Bruce, another reason I like these last memories is just what you said. It really bolsters something I believe in, that any place, no matter how nondescript it is, there's a story there or something interesting if you'll spend time looking.
Totally.
And so these sort of prove that theory to be correct.
So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to the first part of it. We're going to come in and sort of do some halftime analysis, listen to the second part, and then talk a little bit more.
Yes.
So this is Last Memory, Linda, Season 14, the final episode of the season. Leisha's was the episode right before this one, so go back and listen to that too. Mm-hmm. This dropped December 11th, 2024.
Hi, I'm Katie Turner, the California Program Director for Poetic Justice, a community in and beyond women's prisons and jails that writes a lot of poetry. This episode of Ear Hustle contains language and content that may not be appropriate for all listeners. Discretion is advised.
It smelled like earth. It smelled like old straw hats that have been out in the sun too long. It smelled like leather that's been tanned in cowhide. It smelled like old wood, when you get up close to old wood that's been splitting. And it smelled like when you bend down and you put your nose to the dirt. And it smelled like the pavement when rain hits it for that first 15 minutes. And the best smell was my mother. It smelled like my mother.
What does your mom smell like?
Sometimes I could smell, even though she was in her 50s, sometimes I could smell the scent of almost her breast milk. That memory would come back.
This is Linda. She's describing her last memory before coming to prison.
It takes place at Mission San Luis Rey, outside of San Diego.
It was a rainy Monday night. I remember being cold, and there were Christmas lights too, I believe. And I remember walking into the church. There were paintings, adobe walls that are dirty snow white. So I sit down and I slide over, and I remember people being very kind and scooting over. And I remember my jeans were a little bit wet from the rain coming in, and sitting down and sliding over and kind of sticking a little bit. My mother slides in next to me, and she connected to my shoulder. It was my right shoulder. And every time I tried to move a little to the left, because sometimes I would find my mother annoying, she'd move in closer, and then I would have to scrunch. And she'd scoot in more, and I'd scrunch more. And I finally gave that up. I also remember there being a lot of rosary beads. I remember the beauty of the candles and that scent coming at me. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm caught. I'm caught here in this message. And I remember the singing. The singing was vibrating off the walls. It was bouncing off the walls, almost like the words were dancing and the music was dancing. It was beautiful and annoying at the same time, because it was maybe getting to me and I didn't want it to get to me. It was resonating with me, but I wasn't ready for that. I'm remembering right now that my mother kept trying to hold my hand. And I kept pulling it away, but she kept putting it back.
Did your mom know what was going to happen the next day?
She knew I was going to do something, but she did not know what was going to be the very next day. I was going with the formalities as the tradition of the Catholic Mass, the rise and the kneel. And at some point, I stopped. At some point, I shut down. The next time the priest says to kneel, I'm not doing that. And I stopped. And I remember thinking, like, there's really not a God. Mm. And that's when I feel my mother's hand on my knee, on my right knee. But I allow it. I'm allowing her to put her hand on my right knee. I'm feeling her hand, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with her hand on my right knee. Because I know love, and I know that my mother loves me. So I'm like in this triangle with my mother's hand on my knee and the Holy Spirit trying to embrace me, but I have this block. There's this block of unwillingness. I'm thinking, when is this going to be over? Like, when can I leave here? When is this mass going to end? Eventually there's a little relief because I see that we're getting to the place of communion, and my mother whispers, "Are you going to receive communion?" And I'm like, no, Mom. I'm not doing the communion. And I just sit back. I want to become part of the pew. I don't want to even be noticed. So I try to make myself small. And when that's over, I'm relieved when we get up and we walk out. But I remember as we pass, I remember looking at the candles and wishing that I could light a candle. But I almost feel like I can't ask to light a candle. Like I don't deserve to light that candle. So I'm not even going to ask my mom, can we stop to light a candle? I keep walking beside my mom, and I walk her to her car. And I just kiss her goodbye. And that's the last time I see her before my arrest.
The way you described your mom moving over and touching you and you continuing to move away, do you still remember the feeling of that?
Oh, yeah.
What would you give now to have that, her try to move up close to you now?
I'd give up my freedom.
Yeah. Sorry. I totally get what you're saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Earlonne Woods.
I'm Nigel Poor, and this is Ear Hustle from PRX's Radiotopia.
Linda is incarcerated at the California Institution for Women. She's serving a life sentence for the murder of her ex-boyfriend.
It's been 37 years since Linda sat with her mother in that chapel at Mission San Luis Rey. And Earlonne, you and I, we're going to go see that chapel for ourselves. If we can go there, what would you want us to do once we get there?
Just touch the wall and just feel what resonates for you and what you would take away from that chapel, and then what you connect with and how that place would affect you. Because I believe that when your feet touch that soil, that something's going to resonate for you as it did for me. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little too late for me, but it still did.
Okay, this is my last question for you.
Okay.
Think really carefully before you answer this. When we go to the mission, I want to light a candle. Who should it be for? Who in your deepest heart needs to have a candle lit for them? Okay. After that long pause, Linda gave us a name. And just then, something very weird happened with the lights.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
That was meaningful to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the lights just about went out and flickered and then came back on.
The plan was that after we talk to Linda about her last memory, we go to the spot where that memory took place.
And have her memory sort of guide us through it. Try to see that place through her memory.
Okay, so the mission here is trying to find a small parish.
Yep. And go inside and light a candle. Linda told us that her memory took place not at the main mission, which is a big church that seats, I don't know, a couple hundred people, but at a smaller kind of side chapel.
So that's what we were looking for.
It's kind of like an adobe color building, a beige building, but nice beige, not the ugly
Wait.
subdivision
Adobe?
beige.
Is that a color?
I think it's adobe beige. I don't know.
See, I learned stuff messing with Nigel.
I might not be right. Let's go find a paint chip later and see if I'm right. And that's when you got pretty distracted by those koi fish.
Nigel, you see the big koi?
Those are big.
I've never
honking
seen
kois.
koi fish that big.
Oh my God. They're like the size of a toddler.
Or do you think they fake? Are they moving? Oh, no, they moving.
Oh, look at there's turtles. Do you see the turtles?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're appropriate to have St. Francis there. How are you? Is it possible to go in the chapel?
Yes, you can enter with it right here, and he can help you out.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we were at the wrong entrance. We got into the building where the chapel supposedly was, but all we could see was this really long hallway lined with doors to different offices.
Associate pastor.
Bereavement, funeral
Rosaries.
planning.
Why are you walking so slow?
Because you guys are walking slow.
Oh, you leading.
I was getting irritated. You guys were walking so slow.
You the one leading, Nigel.
Step on it, Nigel.
Parish chapel is down this way.
Okay.
Finally, we walked into the chapel, the same one where Linda had sat with her mom 37 years ago.
Okay.
First thing I want to ask you. Did she get the smells right?
So it has that musty smell that she was talking about. There's a real dampness to it. It smells a little bit to me like an attic or a basement, a place that isn't used a lot. It's very quiet. It's dark. It smells like an old drawer that you open up that has the paper on the bottom, and there hasn't been anything in it for a while. It's definitely musty, but there's also something welcoming about it. It feels like a safe smell. If I thought about it in terms of color, it's the color of soil, but slightly damp soil.
Do you smell the candles?
I don't smell the candles yet. Do you smell the candles?
I smell more of an oil.
Tell me more.
No, I just smell like a oil musk type.
I can smell that now that you say it. It's interesting that hearing someone else's response can help you smell something that you missed.
I have another question.
Yeah.
How does she remember them smells 37 years later?
I think because it was a monumental evening for her. Right? It was transformative. You want to walk towards the pulpit and see what smells we get up there?
Okay.
The pulpit and the flowers here are old.
I smell them now.
Oh yeah, you can really smell them.
I wonder what them numbers are. Bingo?
Those are the numbers for hymns.
Oh.
Yeah.
We walked over and sat down in a pew.
Yeah, and we were expecting this quiet kind of meditative moment. But remember, Earlonne, as soon as we sat down, someone started a leaf blower right outside the chapel.
Oh, yeah?
Let's sit in one of the pews because she talked about how important it was. Yeah.
Which one do you think she said it?
I don't know, but she talked about being stuck on the pews and how it was hard to move. Which tells me that they've now upholstered them, because when she talked about them, they were just wood. Actually, you know what? I want to look up these hymns and see if there's any correlation.
Nigel's at it. Let me hold your mic.
Oh, no, I'm not going to sing.
Get the first verse.
O Lord, you are at the center of my life. I will always praise you. I will always serve you. I will always keep you in my sight.
So she came to this place, but stayed on the same course.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you remember she said her mom kept trying to push up against her?
Oh, was she?
Yeah, and then she kept trying to pull away. And I am so curious, we'll never know what was going through her mom's thoughts at the time, if she knew what the bad situation her daughter was in.
Now, I wonder what was going through Linda's thoughts at the time when she was sitting here. Like, was she sitting here thinking about carrying it out? Was she sitting here thinking about
something stopping her from doing what she was going to do?
I don't think nothing was going to stop her.
Before we left, there was one more thing to do. Light that candle for Linda.
So let me ask this. What is the purpose of lighting a candle?
Okay, so I didn't grow up Catholic, but my understanding is that when you light a candle, you're saying a prayer for somebody, and it can be for anyone, someone who's gone, someone who's still around. And to me, the idea is that you're having a meditative and connective moment with whoever you're thinking about.
So I'm lighting this for a friend of mine who's in the hospital right now. I think he's in a coma at the moment, so I'm gonna light this and hope that he get better. Wish you well, my brother. Your turn, Nigel.
I told Linda that I would come here and light a candle for a person, and I'm going to prefer to not say who she asked me to light it for, but in my heart, I will know who it was for, and she will know that I did it. So I just want to be here for a few quiet moments and think about the request and think about the person I'm lighting the candle for, and then I'll light the candle. Okay, Linda, I lit the candle for you. I did what I promised you I would do. Okay.
After the break, we'll go back to the California Institution for Women and see Linda again.
Okay.
All right.
What did you I always say, what did you think at this point?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go with that.
It is, I timed it. There's about 8 minutes of description opening this episode.
Is that right?
Yes, which is kind of astounding that the editors let me get away with that.
I always love, relatedly, I really loved the billboard, which like basically all the narration until the theme comes in and ends was, this is Linda, this is what she's talking about, and then you guys introduce yourself and say this is Ear Hustle.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a mark of a really good episode if you don't have to be like, explain this and explain that,
It's
and here
true.
we are. Or sometimes it can be.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the whole time I'm listening, it's such a quiet episode. There's like on the surface so little happening. It really does rely on description.
I noticed I was actually, when we came back on, I was sort of like, I was hesitant to break the silence.
Yeah. You feel like you're in church.
Yeah.
And when you realize that it was 37 years ago that this happened, and her ability to recall her thoughts, because when she's talking about it, you can hear in her voice when she talks about being irritated with her mother, you can hear the irritation.
Yeah,
right?
She said it like a teenager.
Exactly like
Or
a teenager.
kid, yeah.
That's exactly what I thought too. And you can also, I think everyone's had those irritated moments with a parent. I could totally remember, like when she talks about trying to move away and the mother getting closer, or her wanting to, and even adults do this, give into the experience but holding on to her frustration. There's a lot of mouth sounds in this, a lot of swallowing and sort of nervous. I just can think of them as mouth sounds. So, this is sniffing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bodily sounds in this too.
Normally that's a conscious decision we've made to leave something like that in, or, often we'll cut it out. More often we'll cut it out.
Definitely. Do you think there were too many?
I didn't even notice it this time.
Interesting.
I don't think, I definitely noticed a real deliberative pace that I liked.
Yeah.
I think all of it worked. That's the thing I most often pick up when I re-listen to episodes is I wish we had slowed things down. It feels like things are almost always happening a little bit too fast.
But this one is like very slow.
Yeah.
So when you're listening to this, do you see any colors?
Oh, it's a classic Nigel Poor question. I think the colors, it's very related to having spent so much time in places like this, because I grew up Episcopalian. So I think that was one thing I was thinking about, just like how familiar all of this was. So I was thinking of like dark brown and purple, because purple is that like deep purple I associate with church.
Yeah, to me, it's definitely brown.
Yeah.
The feeling I get. And it brings back a lot of memories for me, too, of growing up, going to church. The smells, the tones in there, the quality of the light.
Yeah.
So familiar to me, even though I'd never been to this particular chapel. And I swear, in the rosary beads, do you hear the sound of the rosary beads? I think that's the first time I used my teeth.
I was going to say, we've been thinking about that recently because of some of the work, like the training stuff we've been working on. We knew we had used Nigel's teeth as a sound, as Foley.
Yes.
Like a sort of creative sound design piece somewhere, and we couldn't remember what it was, but I think you're exactly right.
Yep. And not teeth in my mouth. They're teeth that, just to be clear, they're teeth that are not in my mouth
anymore.
They
were once in your mouth.
Yes,
they are
exactly.
Your teeth, right?
Yes. Yeah. I like the sound design in it. I think it's really a lovely first half. And you kind of have you get an idea of what's going on, what she did, but we don't, overly emphasize that either.
Totally. I feel like we hint at it enough to make the story work, but also for there to be a little bit of tension, but hopefully not draw attention to that more than we need to.
Yeah.
But you also need to understand what she was wrestling with. You need to kind of be in her mind space.
Yeah. I think of her as very perceptive, the things that she remembers and the way she expresses them. And of course, there's some very funny Earlonne moments.
Yeah.
His obsession with the koi.
That's what I was wondering. I wanted to talk about why we left that in. Because I think actually I remember some sort of comments, some editorial conversation about leaving that. And maybe when you guys are joking with each other about how slow you're walking.
Oh, yeah. I wonder why we left that in. But when I was listening to it, I remembered I was really irritated because they were walking so slow.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I don't know if we just leave it in to give a little bit of a behind the scenes of what it's like when we're doing stuff.
It's fun. And I think actually, like you were saying before, so much of this is so quiet and slow in a really nice way, but it's a nice change of pace and texture.
Yeah. And it makes me think about how in our episodes, even when there's something very intense, like we do want to have some relief with a little bit of humor or something.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why we also left in the bingo.
Yeah. And as soon as, again, I've spent a lot of time in places like this, but I immediately knew what he was talking about, which made it funnier. Yeah.
Exactly. I think the koi come back again in the second part.
Oh, right. Yeah. So maybe we're actually planting some little breadcrumbs or whatever.
Yeah. I thought all the sound design worked really nicely, even though a lot of it is very illustrative of what we're saying. But for some reason, it works here.
There was a lot of those tones where, and something that to me sounded like a church organ, like when, not the real brassy church organ, but when it's more wooden sounding. I think that's why we chose that as one of the through line sounds.
Yeah.
I also remembered a lot of the actual ambi is Amy went to mass near her house while we were putting this together. And so there's a time where you hear like people moving in pews. I think she recorded that at a church near her house.
I totally forgot about that.
You at some point hear like a minister or reverend or whatever the Catholic version is. That's from her recording of that.
Yes, because we tried to go into the main chapel.
Oh, that's right.
To record a mass, and they wouldn't let us do it. And should I say this now or later? I guess it's we luckily got all the recording done because they basically were going to kick us off because we didn't have the official go-ahead to record.
I also remember the other editorial conversation I feel like we had, or one was about whether to say who Linda asked you to light the candle for.
Yes.
Was it ended up just you not being quite comfortable with it, or yeah?
I thought it would be, well, two things: nice for the listener to try to imagine who it was for.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to keep that mystery. And I don't know all of the relationships that she has with people.
Right.
So I also I thought for that reason too, to keep it anonymous. But I like the idea that we just wanted listeners to imagine who it is, even though that's not 100% true.
Or like fill in their own name or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like who would you have lit the candle for if
really
you were in this situation? We did I think we did a very interesting editing choice in the second half, and as people are listening, I wonder if they'll pick up on what that is, and then we'll obviously talk about it. But I had forgotten this editorial choice we made, which is really, I'm going to say, brilliant.
Interesting. I have no real recollection of what you're talking about. I'm excited to hear it. So we're going to take a break and then listen to the second part.
The day after you and I visited the chapel at San Luis Rey, we went back to CIW.
We wanted to catch up with Linda and tell her what we had found there. So we told you that we were going to go to the mission.
You did?
Yes. And that's what we did yesterday.
Just yesterday?
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very fresh.
I have to tell you what I remember from it. Yeah. I don't know if they had this then. They have a lake there. Not a lake, but like a pond with a gang of koi fish.
Oh, there's carp in
here. They got
a
big old koi in there. And the koi fish was so huge. I've never seen koi fish that big. Like they was on steroids. They were humongous. And I was like, wow, this is very huge. Look at them fish.
Earlonne, you were clearly fascinated by those little buggers or big buggers.
You know, I've always seen the little ones on TV.
Yeah. But I mean, as charming as your fascination was, that wasn't really what we came to report back to Linda.
Nah.
So we got there mid-morning, and there weren't that many people there. And we knew you had described going to the chapel, so we went to find the chapel. Do you know how to get into the chapel? Oh, you go through the office? We finally found our way in. If you remember, you walked down a hallway.
Why are you walking so slow?
Because you guys are walking slow. And then when you turn, it all of a sudden gets quite dark, and there's two doors, and you can see through those two doors the stained glass of the crucifixion, and that's what lights the chapel. Does this sound familiar?
It sounds familiar. So it sounds a little unchanged. I'm getting really emotional. I can feel your actual presence and the connection to your being there yesterday.
I'm suspecting it has changed very little since you were there 37 years ago. And when we walked into the chapel, we were fortunate there was nobody else. So we were able to be in there alone, and it was very quiet. We sat in the pews. We spent a while just smelling the smells. I don't smell the candles yet. Do you smell the candles?
I smell more of oil.
And it smelled like all those things that you said. You know, it smelled like wet soil and hot materials that had been sitting in the sun. So all of those things were really present, which made me think this place has not, as I said, has not changed in a long time. It felt preserved, but in a really, not in an intentional way. Like it's just a place that's used for what it is, and it doesn't have to keep up with the times because it fulfills its function as it was made to when it was built. We walked around, we touched things. The only thing I think may have changed is when you told me the story, this is one of the things I remembered very clearly, was you talking about sitting on the pew and the way your skin kind of sticks to the wood.
Oh, yeah, the dirty wood.
Yeah. So they had cushions on them now. But that was I'm not going to call it a disappointment, but that was one of the experiences I was wanting to have, of that sticking to the wood. And that was the only experience I didn't get to have from the way you described being there. But everything else felt like we were seeing it through the way you described it.
Was I pretty accurate? Did I remember it pretty?
Yeah, very much, very much. Through the senses, you remembered it beautifully through the senses. It felt like stepping back to my childhood.
There's significance in that when you said it's changed very little. Oh, I'm getting emotional again. And the significance for me, for someone who has served almost 4 decades, is that I always assumed at some point that when I was released from incarceration, that I would get to return to something that I would remember, something that I had been to before, something that I had left behind. But recently, the family home where my father had lived had to go up for sale. And I wanted to be able to at least go there one last time and to touch base with the hardwood floor, to touch something familiar, to get that smell and that scent back. So when you just said that it's unchanged, that was such a gift for me. I'm realizing in my heart, like, I'm okay, because there's always something to go back to.
So after sitting there for a while and talking about how we were feeling, we slowly moved our way down to the front of the chapel. Okay, we're walking towards the pulpit. And if you remember, there's candles on both sides. You may remember that.
I do remember.
And then there's what do they call
the altar?
The altar,
Mm-hmm.
is in the center. So Earlonne went to one side to light a candle, and I went to the other side to light a candle. Do you want to go light the candle, and then I'll go light one?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to give you this. I meditated on it and thought about who this person might be and why you selected that person, and quietly lit the candle. So I just want to be here for a few quiet moments and think about the request and think about the person I'm lighting the candle for. What do you think this person how they would respond if they knew that someone they didn't know was lighting a candle for them based on this situation?
I think if this person knew that I had asked this be done, would be angered and just oppose that. But I'm okay with that. I've been incarcerated a very long time, and I can't undo what I've done. I can only go forward, and part of going forward is continuing in a transformation of who I was and who I continue to become.
Would it unintentionally manifest into harm to the person?
No, it's not meant for harm.
I thought a lot about, who I was lighting the candle for. And I think ultimately I was lighting it for you.
No, but thank you.
Maybe it was a candle for loss in general and deep sadness that can barely be expressed, and regret and the pain of figuring out, how to live. So I think it was for a lot of things, even though ostensibly it was fulfilling this request that you had.
Right.
It seemed like a very monumental thing this little flame was doing, that maybe can't never be completely described to anyone. Maybe you and I are the only people who really understand what happened at that moment, even though you weren't there. So it was a very powerful and curious experience to have, and I'm grateful for it.
Thank you for doing that, and thank you for describing the flame as being monumental.
Yeah.
I think as the creator of great suffering, that the significance of lighting one flame to try to ease that suffering in some capacity is just such a tiny, insignificant, symbolic gesture, but it's been done.
So, after we lit the candle, we had packed up our equipment and we were walking down the hallway to leave the chapel. And then coming towards us was one of the fathers that works there. And he had on that traditional, Franciscan brown robe and sandals, like out of a completely different century.
Yeah, because I'm the pastor. I don't know what you're doing
here. Okay.
I said I'm the last one to know what happened here.
I think maybe you'll find this interesting. Yeah. So we explained to him what we were doing, and we told him our project, and that we were coming here to light a candle for you. And I didn't give him details of the crime because I don't really know them, but I told them that you had been there with your mother.
So let me understand, because I don't.
Yeah.
So the day before she committed the crime, she came here to pray.
Yeah.
In the chapel here specifically.
Yeah. She came to this chapel.
And now she's currently in prison right now.
She's been in prison for 37 years.
For 37 years.
Yeah. So, Earlonne, remember, I asked him what he thought God was doing when Linda was there struggling.
Right.
I think he was with her, and he was sad of the decision that she was thinking to make, but he still loved her. Why he didn't intervene? That's the question. Well, because God has created us with free willing. That's a gift. He wants us to embrace his love freely. He doesn't want robots. This means no less when you're doing bad things. He still loves you. He doesn't love the action that you had done, but he's still with you.
So thank you for
meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for this nice gesture. I think that's going to be meaningful. I don't know if you are believers or not, but at least she is. Yeah. And to do something for her is something that very something from God. Yeah, I think she will appreciate it a lot. And what is her name? Maybe I would like to pray for her.
Her name's Linda.
Linda? Okay, easy to remember.
Oh, thank you.
So tell Linda that the Franciscans here that we are gonna keep her in our prayers.
That's really
Linda.
Father Lalo.
Yeah, Father Lalo.
Lalo?
Yeah.
Father Lalo?
Father Lalo. Yeah.
He's absolutely right. And I knew that sitting in the pew. That's why I said I was conflicted.
It was funny when we were talking about spiritual things. He had his hands crossed, like his chest, like from out of a painting.
He was praying.
He was
praying.
I hope you feel his prayers if you believe in those things.
I do. I didn't at the time. I was still at that crossroad. I was very much at that crossroad. Yeah.
What do you think, had you sat in that pew and listened, where would you be today?
I would be out there functioning and And my victim certainly would be alive today, wherever he would be in life, in whatever position he would be in life, he would be alive.
Okay, we're back.
Yes. I like how the candle, if people remember, comes in at the beginning, and it's kind of how we go out with a conversation about the power of the candle. We mention it in the opening that we're going to light a candle, and you kind of forget about it, and then it comes back when we actually do it, and then that's sort of the final scene is talking about the candle. The editing choice I like is the way, instead of us telling it completely, we bring back audio from the first part of the episode.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised we did it, because I would think it could feel redundant. I also, when I was re-listening to this, I was like, wait a minute, we talked to a priest.
I totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
But it's really satisfying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to know how to incorporate religion when it's relevant to the stories, into the stories. But I was like really into what he was saying. It's sort of like, and he explains so well one of the harder things, I think, which is like, how do bad things happen in a world where there's God?
Yeah, exactly. And I think saving it till the end makes those repeated bits of audio work better, because you hear these repeated pieces that you've from the first part, and then you hear this brand new thing that you don't expect to hear, and you kind of think it ends where she says, "Okay, it's been done." I think I tell her about lighting the candle, and she's like, "It's been done," and it kind of seems like that's going to be the end.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, but then we get to hear the priest, and he's so compassionate, and the sound of his voice, the way he speaks, he's very easy to be.
Open
He was very
and
easy.
curious.
Yeah.
The more obvious thing to do would have been to have him before we go back to her, so we hear him and then we relay that there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I'm pretty sure that was Amy.
Yeah, nice work, Amy.
Good job, Amy. Do you think we should have cut in the second half the conversation about who the candle was for, and just had told her that we lit the candle?
I don't know.
Okay.
And it's hard to say, because I know why we made those decisions, so it's hard to say. But to me, it felt like, there's like an interesting wrinkle here that's always nice.
Okay, and maybe it gives the listener a little bit more, because it is pretty brief. In the first part when we talk about not saying the name.
One thing that I really, really struck me this time that I don't remember really focusing on last time was when she found so much significance in you saying the place hadn't changed. And then she said, hearing that, she realized she was okay because she'll have someplace to go back to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd focused on that part of this conceit, which is like, I guess I just hadn't thought about places as having that much power to give hope.
Yeah, when she says she wants to be able to go back to the house so she can touch the wood floors and get the smells again. That it hit me more this time too when she says that, but I know I'll have a place to go back to.
Yeah, it says a lot about being in prison for a long time.
Yeah. I also found myself now listening, just being happy that there's these places that don't change, because I think now everything changes, everything's updated, everything's at, 5.7 iteration, and that chapel hasn't changed, and that's something reassuring about that.
Yeah. I was also just appreciating listening to you connect with people. I feel like you have a real it's a real skill or talent or natural way, but I hear it a lot, and it's impressive.
Oh, thank you, Bruce.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Another thing that stuck out, just as soon as you all start describing it, you can hear her kind of exhaling. It's an illustration of how powerful this place is to her.
And also, I heard that too, and I don't remember it from the first time. It made me think, and not to congratulate ourselves, but it's sometimes really a wonderful thing that we get to do for people, to bring this to her, and it's a nice kind of gift, and it's cool to hear her receive it in that subtle way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We haven't seen her. I mean, we've been back to CIW a bunch of times, and I've lost track of her.
I've seen. This is something about the work we do. I think I've seen her once or twice, and I haven't had any real deep conversations with her. And it is a weird thing after you have this connection.
Yeah.
And I meant what I said. You know, it was a very moving experience to light that candle for her and think about how she and I are really the only ones that know the significance of it. And so you feel so connected to somebody. And then we eventually move on.
Yeah.
It's part of what we have to do. But I have seen her a couple times. And of course I've spoken with her, but you know, I haven't had this kind of conversation with her again.
Yeah. Why do you like detail, the sensory details so much?
It's how I understand things, how I take stuff in.
Like when somebody else is telling you something.
Yeah. I always want to know the details. And I think also because I'm a photographer, I'm very interested in details. And I love to just notice little things. So I love when other people notice little things.
Right.
Yeah. And I think those are the details that give meaning to life also, like in a bigger way. And they slow down time and they make you present. And I'm always worried about how quickly time goes by and how we can never really hold on to things.
Right.
But there's something about attaching to the senses that makes me feel very in the moment. Yeah. It brings me back to a moment.
That is also, we've done an interviewing workshop recently, and that's one thing we talk about in terms of what sorts of questions you want to be sure to ask.
Yeah.
Get the details.
Get the details.
We should linger on that more.
I think so. And it would be interesting to play that first 8 minutes in a workshop, because you'd almost think it'd be tedious to have 8 minutes of description, but it's not in that. And I think when we do it in workshops, it's such a good way of signaling to people how important these details are. And then they start recollecting, you know, textures and smells and whatever. And they can do that anywhere.
Oh, you'd mentioned almost getting kicked out. Was that what happened?
Yes. So remember you said we had to get Sounds of a Mass from San Francisco?
Right. Yeah.
Well, we went to the main chapel to try to get some Sounds of a Mass happening, and we were recording a little bit. We hadn't been there very long when this very official and officious woman came up to us and like, what are you doing here? You can't be here recording. And we explained what we were doing and that we had talked to Father Lalo. And she's like, I don't care. That doesn't matter. And she basically kicked us off.
Wow.
Yeah. And we were all like, oh, thank God we got all this recording, because we wouldn't have gotten anything.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to hear the credits again.
Yeah.
But folks, hang on for the Easter egg, which is a little bit of fun tape that we drop in right at the very end.
This one is fun.
Okay, and here are the credits.
Nige, this is the last episode of the season.
Yes, but let's be clear, that does not mean we are disappearing. There's going to be a bunch of stuff in the feed over the next couple months. Like, for example, we've been working on these things called sleeper episodes, where people on the team go back and they select one of their kind of favorite episodes, and they kind of dissect it and talk about what worked, what were some of the challenges of it, what surprised them. They're super fun to do.
So it's a behind the scenes thing,
behind the scenes, exactly.
So I would say, y'all should tune in and definitely listen to it, because it's going to be dope.
And Earlonne, there's been some big news in your life. So do you want to tell listeners what you've been up to?
Yes, there's been some great news in my life. I'm going to start off with one. I have been, first I was commuted. Now I've been officially pardoned by Governor Gavin Newsom of California, which is a big step in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It makes me excited about it.
What's that?
We can finally do the TSA pre-check line.
Oh,
when we travel, when we go to the airport, we don't have to be separated.
Yeah, you don't like when I embarrass you, huh?
You mean when you yell out?
That's what privilege look like, huh? That line over there is the privilege line, Nigel. I just want to move over here with the common folks.
Well, I'm looking forward to sharing that privilege with you on our next trip.
And some other news is, my hands have been full lately.
With what?
Due to the fact that I am the father of some new twins, a boy and a girl.
Does one fit in each hand?
Huh? Yes, like a football. Oh. Like I got 2 footballs running down the thing, but they're precious, So I could definitely say this, Nigel. This break comes at a great time.
Yes, it does. Well, in the meantime, we've also got some exciting stuff that's going to be coming up for the show. One, we are getting ready for another live tour.
Oh yeah, 2025.
Yep, and we're going to be going to a bunch of cities that we missed on the last tour, and it's going to be super fun. I mean, do you remember how great that was?
It was hella fun.
I know.
And we're also spending more time in New York, cooking up a season of episodes about life in juvenile detention centers out there.
Yep. So there's a lot going on for the Ear Hustle team. So we really want to thank all of you listeners out there for sticking with us. It's so much fun reading your emails and your comments on social.
Yes.
You all are a big part of our season.
What y'all don't probably know about me and Nigel is we scan through them comments. We look about what, to see what y'all talking about, see how we're impacting, see what we could talk about, see what your suggestions are. We read all that shit. I'm telling you, I don't know, but we do.
Well, that's what's so great about doing the live tours is we actually get to meet a lot of people who listen, and that is golden.
Yes, it is. Very golden. So thanks again, listeners. We really appreciate you. Really do.
Hi, I'm Isma Chavez, and I'm working from home. Ear Hustle is produced by Nigel Poor, Earlonne Woods, Amy Standen, Cruz Wallace, Rasan New York Thomas, and Kat Shutnek. Shabnam Sigmund is the managing producer. The producing team inside San Quentin includes Darrell, Sadiq Davis, Tony De Trinidad, and Tom Wynn. The inside managing producer is Tony Safoya. Thanks also to Aristel San Pablo. Thanks to Acting Warden Andy and Lieutenant Barry at San Quentin and Acting Warden Parker at the California Institution for Women for their support of the show. Also, thanks to this guy here.
I am Lieutenant William Newborg, Public Information Officer here at CIW, and I approve this episode and many more episodes to come.
This episode was made possible by the Just Trust, building a smaller, more humane engine of justice and safety across the country.
Bruce Wallace and Earlonne Woods sound designed and engineered this episode, with help from Fernando Arruda, Harry Culhane, and Darrell Sadiq Davis.
Music for this episode comes from David Jossie, Antoine Banks Williams, Bruce Wallace, Darrell Sadiq Davis, and me.
For more information about this episode, check out our show notes on Ear Hustle's website, earhustlesq.com.
You can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Ear Hustle SQ, and on our website where, guess what? We've got new merch.
I'm so excited. There is really cool stuff there, so please check it out.
And if you're not already, follow and review Ear Hustle on any of your favorite podcast apps like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We love them comments.
Ear Hustle is a proud member of Radiotopia from PRX, a network of independent, creator-owned, listener-supported podcasts.
Discover audio with vision at radiotopia.fm.
I'm Nigel Poor.
I'm Earlonne Woods. Thanks for listening.
What's the name of the thing? Hustle?
Ear Hustle.
Ear Hustle. Is this a Catholic thing?
Yeah, no.
Catholic program?
No, not at all.
Well, why are you here?
Radiotopia.